Right. Okay, people, we got the one, the only, Terry, the electrician. It's my partner in crime here, boy, taking over the digital real estate. Y'all better watch out now. Using that service money, that appliance repair money, that electrician paper, that's them trades. You know, that's how you do it, putting it to work. That's what I love about the podcast and interviewing people. That way they can see more than quote unquote Terry the electrician. You know, the fact that people don't understand when we get in this blue collar game, that's not all we do. We're not just what they call it, a monolith. No. We are all diverse and we all bring awesome skill sets. You know, Terry is great with the graphic design, just setting up programs. So I am privileged to know him and it's an honor, and he always keeps me in check. Y'all know how hard that is. So Terry, thanks again. Welcome to the Titans, Tech to Titans podcast. Greatly appreciate it, man.
What's up? What's up? I'm on here with my sister from another mister. So you already know how we get down.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about the journey. So I want to talk about, let's just jump to the real chase. Let's talk about your decision to begin to go into other green fields as far as the digital real estate, the podcast, you know, courses, things of that nature. Let's just cut to the chase.
Okay. Well, the decision to move into digital real estate and, you know, course creation, coaching, and consulting comes from me being in the electrical field as long as I have and running a business as long as I have. I think it's time for me to turn another page in the, you know, in this chapter of my life, and start to look towards really trying to help bring, I don't want to use the word dignity back to the trades, but, you know, we treat it like second-class citizens. So, you know, just to bring some shine back to the trades, because, you know, we are the builders and fixers, you know, in this country. So, and the school system has done a number on downplaying really the true importance of what we do, you know, pushing everybody towards the collegiate route, which, you know, in itself, it's not a, you know, there's nothing wrong with college. Like I said, you know, college is necessary for certain skill sets, but college is not for everybody, nor does everybody need a college degree, you know, to make a good living in this world, you know, myself included. So I decided to move into the educational space to try to bring some of the knowledge and the experience that I've gathered over these decades back into the industry, you know, to help the up and comers, you know, hopefully sidestep some of the learning curve and get out there and make it happen.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. I wholeheartedly agree. And, you know, I'm with you 100% on that. So let's just take a look at the future. Let's take a look at, what do you see as far as, like, say, for instance, we're in 2022, you might as well say, end of 2021. If you were coming into the trades, where would you plant yourself as a young technician, little or no skill set? What area or what trade would you recommend, and what path?
Well, knowing what I know today, I would recommend appliance repair for several reasons. Number one is extremely lucrative. Extremely. I had no idea. You know, I've known about appliance repair for many years. I've had many customers over the years ask me about fixing this or that appliance. And since it wasn't something that I did at the time, I just kind of brushed it off. But little did I know, you know what I mean? Just how lucrative appliance repair is. And also that as far as trade to trade, for me being an electrician, the learning curve was not that steep at all for me. But yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely say appliance repair, because another reason is, at the present time, you do not need a state license to run an appliance repair business. Okay. Being an electrical contractor, I have to maintain a state license in Georgia, an electrical contractor's license, which you have to take and pass a test to get after you've gotten 5 years of documented experience in the trade. And this is true for plumbing, heating and air, and electrical. So that's one of the advantages, one of the huge advantages of going into the appliance repair field. Now, I don't know about other states. I can only speak for Georgia, but for the state of Georgia, you're not required to have a contractor's license to run an appliance repair business. That's major. That is major.
Yes, it is.
Because people don't understand what it takes to acquire these licenses. So that's number two. And number three, for me, it's about the service aspect of it. The service aspect of it makes it extremely lucrative because every home has at least 3 appliances. Now, the typical home has more, but at least a refrigerator, a stove, and a microwave. You're going to find that in pretty much every home in the United States, which means there's always going to be a demand for somebody to be able to fix these things. So yeah, if barring me going into the military and learning my skill set and learning my trade and all that, if I was a young man coming out of high school, looking to go into a technical field, or just looking at a wide open career field, period, yeah, I would definitely jump all over appliance repair.
I wholeheartedly agree. I agree with you on that 100%. Now, as far as the avenues and the training, what would you recommend as far as young techs? Do you recommend they go work for a company? Should they learn on their own? What are your viewpoints on that?
Well, when you say young techs, you mean no skill set, or?
Yeah, I mean no skill set. So let's first look at no skill set. Then we're gonna look at people coming with a mechanical background.
Okay.
Maybe older, because it's different. It's one thing when you show up and you learn it and you don't have kids and responsibilities. So we're going to take a closer look at those angles, because these are some of the issues people have.
Yeah. Well, if you got no skill set and you got any type of income whatsoever, I would say take a course, join a course like Appliance Boot Camp, try to get into the hands-on course. If you can come up with some funds to facilitate that, I would say do that. If you had to, if you had a vehicle, you can Uber and DoorDash, do all that to gather up the funds to pay for the course. You know what I mean? Even if you had to pay for just the online course initially to get in the game, you know what I mean? Because, you're going to learn the basics of how to do basic appliance repair well enough to get in the game. And you're going to also learn how to, get started in business and how to get going, how to get with warranty companies or what have you, to get some initial experience and also get some initial monies coming in. And, once you build up your funds, then you also want to go ahead and do the complete hands-on. Now, that's your base and your foundation. It doesn't stop there. But for someone who's green, don't know anything, I would definitely recommend that you get a hands-on course. And if you don't go to Appliance Boot Camp, there are others available. My number one recommendation always going to be Appliance Boot Camp. That's the one I'm familiar with. That's where I met you. That's the course I took. So I'm always gonna lean to that. But there are others out there. You know what I mean? So just be resourceful. Okay, be resourceful and find what suits where you at right now and go for that. That's what I would say.
I agree. So I know I was talking to, because we don't read, he's based out of Atlanta, and he mentioned something, I think, about places like Goodwill offering some training for dislocated workers or something similar. My opinion is I think they should definitely save up the money to go to ABC. It's a great foundation, and you know, if you take it to the next level, and you pay attention and you're consistent in certain areas, I think anyone can be successful with it. You know, and you know, it depends. I really think on the person. You know, I've talked to um, young men who I'm sorry, it's one of my subs. Of course, it always when I'm on a podcast.
Mm.
Everybody named mama the sub, but everybody wants to call me, so I'm trying to put them away while I do this. But give me 1 second here, Terry. One moment. So, Terry, what I'd like for you to do at this particular point is go ahead and for the person that's doing a career change, okay? Because, you know, we see a lot of people, you know, they hate their corporate jobs, they're trying to get off the plantation. What route would you recommend for them?
I would say definitely look into the skilled trades. If you're in corporate America and you're not feeling it, or you ready to get out of there, something in the skilled trades would probably be just the change that you need, because it opens up completely new avenues. Now, I mean, you could also go the digital route. You know, like Rochelle said, we're venturing into the online space, into the digital real estate and all these type of things and digital assets. But we're doing that because we're bringing our offline skill sets to the digital marketplace. I mean, I could say if you got those type of skill sets that you can bring to the digital marketplace, that's a very good place to go to. That's extremely lucrative as well. You know what I mean? And but if you're looking to do something hands-on, like say for instance, you're tired of sitting behind a desk and you're not feeling, you know, what's going on with your corporate position, and you want to get out there and do something with your hands, come into the skilled trades. We got plenty of room for you. Trust me on that. If you got ambition and you're coachable and teachable, oh, we got something for you. Trust and believe. And again, you know what I mean? If you want a low barrier of entry, and I say low barrier of entry with no disrespect, a low barrier of entry would be appliance repair, because what that does is once you learn appliance repair, you can venture into other trades because you're going to touch a little bit of electrical. You're going to touch a little bit of plumbing. You're going to touch some refrigeration. So it's a very versatile skill set to have. Again, if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely take that route. If I thought I wanted to go to one of these other trades after that, I would already have a good foundation and base underneath me to springboard me into these other trades.
Exactly. So a lot of the people on the corporate side, you know, they want to come in, they want to run the business and manage techs. What is your pros and cons of that? When they're coming in without the skill set now, what is your take on that, sir?
Well, I would say it would depend. I would say that really depends on what your skill set is in your current position. Okay, if you are, you know, there are 4 levels. You have the implementation level. You're the person in your corporate position that does the day-to-day implementation of whatever it is your company does, right? I would say you want to come in and possibly acquire the skill sets to learn appliance repair, right? If you're on the next level, which is called the unification level, which means you're in management, you are the person that are supervising the people who are doing the implementation. Then if you're on the management level, then you want to probably look at coming in as what we will call a middleman. And that's somebody who would own the business, run the business, but will supervise the subs or the techs, okay? But you would also have a foundational knowledge of appliance repair, Okay, you need foundational knowledge of appliance repair, but you don't necessarily need to be a super skilled technician. You're going to be the person that's running the business. So you need to focus, you would need to focus more on developing business acumen and developing the business skills and going deep on the business side. Okay, so really those two levels are where we're operating at. So either you're an implementer or you are a supervisor. So that's what I would say. I would go with that. So it just depends on where you coming in at, and you can kind of go from there. Now, the other thing is with Tech to Titan, what we're doing with Tech to Titan is we're covering we're covering somebody that has skill sets, that already have the technical skill to learn how to use systems and processes to grow and scale their appliance repair business. Okay. So at the same time, if you don't have if somebody coming in that don't have the technical skills, that's not already a skilled technician, you will be able to come in on the middleman side. You will be able to come in with the business on the business side. So the program will facilitate you being able to step into that role of business owner and supervising the skilled techs. But you would also be required to get some cursory technical knowledge, so you're not out there, out there blind, trying to run the business and trying to supervise these technicians. They won't be able to pull that over on you because you'll have at least a basic understanding of what they're supposed to be doing from the day to day. So it's all up to the individual where you want to go with this. But Tech to Titan is going to be that program that's going to facilitate wherever you are. You're skilled tech, you're one-man operation, you want to come in, you want to blow your business up, you want to scale your business. We're going to bring you in with the skills you got. We're going to take you and we're going to work on developing the systems and processes to scale your business, scale and grow your business. Okay.
Absolutely.
And you're that person who just wants to come in and start a business. You have no skills, no mechanical aptitude whatsoever. We're going to bring you in. We're going to show you the business side, how to get all that set up. And then we're going to point you in the direction to where you can get the technical training that you need in order to run your business. Exactly. Now, if you're also that person that has a good business already going, say you're already making six figures, you already have a good business, you're a one-man show, and you're already making six figures, and you want to blow that up, we got you on that avenue as well, to take you in to actually dive deeper into the systems and processes, right? Put certain things in place that's going to duplicate your efforts and take you to the next level, to the 7 figures and beyond. So.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't have said it better myself, because at the end of the day, that's the void where we see the techs who may have the ability but can't do the business side. Or we see people that want to get in. There are a lot of people I know that run the business and really don't have a skill set for the business. And I was actually talking to a young lady the other day. She runs one out of Palm Beach, but they stay away from seal systems. They stay away from certain areas that they know that it would be the end of the business if they were having recalls and comebacks, because they can't find the techs, nor do they understand those processes. So there's opportunity in every area. And I think that's the void that's the area that we're coming in to take care of those needs and address both sides of that world. So very well put, very well put. Now, as far as the trades, you hear Mr. Sneed always talks about this, Mike Sneed from Appliance Bootcamp, when he talks about the cash flow and being able to put that in other entities. So as far as you're concerned, give us a couple of examples of how you've been able to take your trade income and invest in things, and how has that made for you? First of all, why did you decide to become and own your own business, and how has that changed your life?
Oh, it changed my life like night and day. after, you know, working in, in my trade for so long and getting my state contractor's license, you know, before I even got my license, I had in my mind that I wanted to run my own business. Once I got to a point where I was proficient enough in my skill set, and I understood, you know, the trade enough, and I understood the processes and the strategies and all the stuff of doing electrical, it started to dawn on me that, number one, I could make quite a bit more money, okay, doing it for myself. But more so for me is, my thing is freedom. That my ultimate goal is freedom. Because once I have freedom, I have options. And with options, you know, you know, your possibilities are endless once you have options. So for me, wanted to run my own business, to be able to do my own thing, to call my own shots. It was just this thing of independence in me. And like I said, this real strong desire for freedom. I wasn't one that hated my job or none of that. My job was fine. I had a great job. I had a great relationship with my employers. You know, so I was a supervisor, and I was the highest paid electrician in the company when I left that company. All right, you know what I mean? Which, you know, that's not a brag. That just you kind of put in perspective that I didn't run out of there because I didn't want to be there. I didn't like my job. Nothing could be further from the truth. I maintained my relationship with those people well after I left that job. You know, they would let me borrow equipment, bucket truck, you know, whatever, anything I needed, they would help me out with it. So, but like I said, I just had that independent spirit within me to do my own thing. What I've done as far as how I've invested is I've taken a lot of the money that this discretionary income that I have, and invested in this. Okay, best investment you can ever make is in yourself. I wouldn't be able to sit here and talk with you on this podcast about doing these courses and coaching and all this stuff had I not had the foresight to invest in this, because Absolutely. That learning curve ain't no joke. When you start talking about coaching people, creating courses, and taking this thing to that level, that's a very steep learning curve.
Exactly. So
I have invested
go ahead.
Thousands of dollars in educating myself and getting coaches and mentors to get me to this level, to this point, to where now I could turn back and offer that to the marketplace.
All right, so let's back up a little bit, because I want to hit a couple of things. All right, going back to the business, because I got two questions. Going back to getting into your own business, very early on, what caused you to, what happened, or how do you become efficient operationally? Like, a lot of times people go into the trades and they collect the money, but they don't know where it's going. They don't have nothing in order. You know, the expenses, like, I just got this, and then you turn around, all the money you got is gone because you got to go pay for this and pay for that, you know? So how did you develop the discipline? You follow me? To understand what's coming in, what's going out, and how to save. Because these are things that early, you know, people who start businesses in the trades, they struggle with.
Yeah, it took me quite a while to get that under control, to be real about it. Took me quite a while. What happened, what really did it was, first, I ran across this book called Profit First. And that was probably 2 years ago. Now, I have been in business for over 22 years. To put that in perspective, I've been out here for over 22 years. I found the book called Profit First about 2 years ago. Prior to that time, it was mostly shooting from the hip. Yeah, you know, a bank account, you know, and all this stuff. I have a CPA that does my taxes just to keep me out of jail. You know what I mean? but all the rest of that stuff, I've been doing myself and juggling up in this brain of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I found that book, Profit First, and that concept was so profound to me, but I did not implement it. I ran across another book called Profit First for Contractors.
That's the one I'm talking about now. That's because he's got that. I saw that other version that he had, and you know, Mike does a phenomenal job in that book. You know.
Yeah, so Sean, I can't think of Sean's last name, but he got with Mike and trained with Mike on the Profit First concept. So he did his book, Profit First for Contractors, an adaptation of Mike's original program just for contractors. By this time, I was already switching my business model. So I was switching my business model from construction-based to service-based. That was the best decision I ever made in business. I wish I had done that many years ago, because when I did that is when everything really opened up for me financially.
Exactly.
Okay. I did that in 2020. How about I started a whole new electrical company in March of 2020. What else happened in March of 2020? We went on a national lockdown for C-19 in March of 2020. Okay. But I was oblivious to that while I was going through my process of restructuring and redesigning my business, because I was on a mission. It had to happen regardless.
Yeah.
So right after I did that is when I ran into Appliance Bootcamp and Mike Sneed and the 5 bank account system, which is based on which is profit first based, because these are universal principles, right? Mike McCallowitz didn't invent the 5 bank account system. He codified it and put it in a book, and he explained it to people, right? He even talks about how his parents or grandparents used to do this stuff when he was a kid. Mike Sneed took this thing and he codified it for service-based business, and it clicked instantly in my brain.
There you go.
And when I put that in play, I can pull up my bank account. I can look at everything. I can see everything that's coming in. And then I do those disbursements in this account or in that account. I see everything that's going out. I pull up my expenses. My expenses are right there. And I have, also added to that system of how I use credit, business credit with that system, because I'm a person that don't use debit cards. And we can talk about that more in depth in another,
Look, let me tell you something. The purpose of Miss Ward's podcast, Detect the Titan, we're discussing what other people aren't, because I'm getting ready to really flesh out these 5 bank accounts with you, because what's the first issue that people run into? When they get into the service business and they're not used to this and they get this money coming in, they barely know how to handle a bank account. They so happy they stuff ain't in the negative, and they start seeing them deposits. They don't realize it is imperative that you really have the 5 bank accounts so you can distribute and discipline yourself. It's almost like in the Bible, how they talk about tithing. And most people don't understand that tithing is a principle. You take that first 10% or 20% and give it to God. You pay yourself, you're supposed to pay yourself 20%, and then you blah, blah, blah with the rest, in some settings. But everything comes down to discipline, because the reality is, as much as I ain't gonna say the name, but let's just say someone we all listen to always talks about this quote: luxuries once tasted become necessities. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not a cloud chaser, so I ain't saying no names. But the reality is this podcast is for real people, because there are going to be people who are uncomfortable. My bank won't let me do 5. The bottom line is, we don't want to hear the excuses. We need y'all to get out here, put these processes in place, and just give it the time to work.
Yeah, if you got a bank that won't let you open up 5 bank accounts, you need to find another bank. I mean, there's many banks, and I can tell you, I'm with Bank of America. There was no issue whatsoever. Now I have bank accounts with Bank of America. I have bank accounts with Navy Federal. Okay, but Bank of America did it with no problem. Now, if you just happen to be military, be a veteran, or you can go to Chase and you can set up all 5 of those bank accounts free of charge. They will not charge you a fee for those additional bank accounts. All right, that's Chase. What I was talking about with the credit card thing is.
So hold on, let me pause you real quick, because you know how we got to do. This is for entertainment purposes only. Out there. We are not financial advisors. We just telling you what we know that works for us. And on top of that, this is a hurdle for people. And I'm gonna just keep it a buck for people who look like us. Because
Absolutely.
managing that money when you go trying to go from survival mode to striving mode.
Absolutely.
You had nothing, you trying to get it out the mud. You like, woo wee, this is, so you gonna have to develop the discipline. I mean, it's like, just like these rappers and these athletes that get that first big check and they go buy this and that. Well, that's a mindset. So this is why this conversation, we're gonna deal with the 5 bank accounts, we're gonna deal with the credit, and then we're gonna deal with mindset, because that's your area, sir. This is a real podcast right here. We're gonna hit the stuff that people need to hear. So go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, with the 5 bank accounts, that was a biggie for me. That was a biggie for me because, like I said, I could see everything. I could see everything, and it also allowed me, when I say profit first, that 10% goes directly into that profit account. All right, so I got a profit account, I got a tax account, I got an operating account, I got owner's compensation account, right? So those are the 4 on the business side. And the 5th is my personal account that I take the money from the owner's compensation account and put into my personal checking account. All right. So those are the 5 bank accounts that we talk about.
Okay. I'm gonna stop you again, because I'm gonna pretend like I'm a podcast host. So the reason I'm stopping you is because what's one of the biggest things that people do that I know, because I was guilty of it. They mix funds, commingle funds, and then on top of that, they don't pay themselves a salary. They just take it out of, the money they got. And the thing is that unless we stress the importance of separating it, we need people to understand we just like them. That we struggle every day and we to even stay on our own stuff, but we stay at it. That's what makes us successful. And if we could just get some of them to start, you follow me, they would be so much farther along. Like right now, we're in December 3rd, 2021. We are back practically in 2022. And there's people still trying to figure out how they're going to do Kwanzaa, Christmas, Hanukkah, Feliz Navidad, And the reality is that it comes down to one thing, and that's really money management. I mean, I was listening to DJ Money Coach and Erica the other day, and he was talking about how during Black Friday, the average person spent $1,000 and a 2-person household spent, maybe $1,500 to $2,000. And the reality is we spend stuff on on things of no value. And this is why, like you said, investing in your mind, investing in yourself. I'm listening to DJ Money Coach and Erica, and they talking about these tax liens go pick you up something for $5,000, $7,000. DJ Money Coach talking about how they get steady rent every month, $550 here, $850 here, and they've been getting it for years, and they own it outright. These are the conversations we got to have. You hear Mike Sneed talk about the same thing. When I started watching him, what was the name of the channel? What was it? Save, Invest, Repeat, or something like that? Initially, before it was Appliance Boot Camp. The reality is we have to make sure that we start following people that we are comfortable with, that speak our language, but speak the truth. You don't see no bling bling over here.
No.
Because that ain't how we live it.
No, that crap don't mean nothing.
It really don't, man. So go ahead into that credit piece that you were talking about.
Okay. So once you get a handle on the bank accounts and the percentages break down, to just kind of retouch on that a little bit. I do 10% in the profit account. I do 15% in taxes. This is coming off the top. Everything comes into my operating account. So all monies that comes into my business comes into that operating account. before anything is paid expense-wise, 10% profit, 15% taxes, 10% owner's compensation, or I was doing 10% owner's compensation at one time, but I started out with 25% owner's compensation. Okay. And as the checks or the wire transfers start to get bigger and bigger and bigger, I reduced the amount of owner's compensation I was taking. And then I put myself on a weekly salary. Okay. So like Rochelle said, we have to pay ourselves like an employee at some point. Now you can get payroll company. Now you really want to go get jiggy. You want to get a payroll company to do all that and process all the paperwork, and you actually get a paycheck. You know, that's the next level to this. Where you actually, because that's when I switch my LLC over to an S corporation, I will be getting a paycheck. I haven't done that yet. Like I said, we keep it 100 on this up in here. I haven't done that yet. I'm at the income level that I should have done it, just to be real with you. It's going to get done in 2022. Moving forward, I will be taking a paycheck. I will be a W-2 employee of my company.
There you go.
Okay. So, but that's the next step for me. So the credit piece is where I had to establish these accounts. And I did this before last year, before I restructured my business. I had my credit set up long before I restructured my business, because I understand that you don't have to go in debt in order to be able to use credit efficiently and effectively. The key is not to go into debt. If you're doing it right, you're not in debt, but you learn how to use debt to your advantage.
Exactly.
Right. So, like I said, I use credit cards for everything. All right, on the business side and on the personal side. Only thing I use my debit card for is to take out cash or put in cash in my bank account in the ATM. Other than that, I don't use my debit card. I don't use my debit card when I go to the grocery store. I don't use my debit card to buy gas. I don't use my debit card to buy stuff online. I don't use my debit card like most people use their debit card. I use my credit card like a debit card. Why do you do that, Terry? Because it's a strategy to this. I get points on my business side for business products. So, like, for instance, my American Express Business Gold Card. I use that for my business. I get travel points. I get discounts on business services like Dell Computer, FedEx, all that stuff. We get discounts on all that. That's all helping my business to grow. This is all strategically done. This is not haphazard. This is not something I just decided to do. I learned this from some people who are way higher level than I am with this. And once I learned it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I stopped been doing it. And I do it all the time. Now, on the personal side, same thing, because I treat my personal finances just like I treat my business finances. Everything is, as soon as that money hit my personal account, there's 10% going into a savings account. There's money going to here, from Bank of America to Navy Federal into this account. Same thing.
Yeah.
Because I have to manage these finances to keep control of this stuff. So I use my personal credit card for grocery shopping, for online purchases, for this, for that. I have Amazon Prime on personal and business. Okay, so anything I need for the bid, I need to order off Amazon for the business, it goes on the Amazon Business Prime account. And that money comes out, it comes out directly out of the business checking account. So I got them payments automatically set up automatically. Mm-hmm. Okay. All my credit card payments are automatically set up to come out. The minimum monthly payment. Let me get this piece, because this is real important. My minimum monthly payments comes out automatically out of my checking account. So on the business side, they come out the business account. On the personal side, they come out the personal account. I pay more than the minimum monthly payment, by the way, but they automatically come out, because guess what? I'm never late. I'm never going to get a late payment. That's how I keep my credit score in that 700 range. I'm not trying to get 850, because it doesn't even matter. When you really learn about about credit. You'll
Yeah.
know that you don't need to have an 850 credit score to get anything and everything you need. I got Chase sending me stuff. I got Capital One trying to get me to go, send me pre-approvals for cars. Navy Federal send me pre-approval for cars. I'm not financing no cars. Another thing, I don't finance vehicles. I haven't had a car payment in over 20 years. That's another strategy that I decided to do.
Exactly.
You know what I
Pure
mean?
game. Pure
But
game.
yeah, so on the credit piece, I've learned how to use credit to my advantage and not let credit hold me hostage. Because I don't buy frivolous crap. Now I'm sitting here in front with two 32-inch monitors on my desk. Why? Because I run my business from my home.
There you go. There you go. Facts. But see, let's go back to how you invested in these courses, you invested in these programs, and how you listen to people who are successful and who are where you want to be. And I think that this is so much key. I think the key is not only to listen, but to apply. To apply what you learn. And the reality is none of us are perfect. Some of us take the stuff that sound good and do that. And then when we get stuck, we be like, uh-oh, let me go revisit that. Didn't they say something about this? I mean, I'm guilty of that, because when you're moving 100 miles a minute, it is what it is. Like right now, I fumble my way through the podcast. I fumble my way through YouTube, but I'm authentic, and I will never deny that. But the reality is, we're still moving forward. So I'm so glad that we're having this phenomenal conversation, because the reality is they need to hear these conversations from real business owners, because the thing that I get tired of hearing is people get in, they hit a lick, and then next thing you know, the company's dead. They're no longer doing it. Oh, I had to get out of that because da-da-da. No, you had to get out of it because you didn't vet it properly. And then you got in there and you didn't do it the best way for you, because you saw the quick money. And there's no quick money in any business, in my opinion. I mean, we were listening to DJ Money Coach, and he was talking about long term. Everybody wanted da-da-da, but when you're dealing with stocks, long term, when you're dealing with property, buy and hold. I mean, these are tried and true principles. Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Exactly. Follow the one that's successful, who keeps their mouth shut. That's my rule. If they ain't talking, I'm over here. I'm like ear hustling my ass off, because I know that they got the plan.
When they're running back a little bit on the 5 bank accounts, the profit, I take a quarterly profit distribution.
That's the piece.
I take a quarterly, and like I said, when I learned that from Mike Sneed, it changed the world for me. Okay, he's the one that clarified that for me. I have to give him credit for that. He won't take the credit for it, but it goes to him, because the way he explained it, when he broke it down, is when it clicked in my brain, and then immediately I went and implemented this thing. And like I said, my life ain't been the same since. So every quarter, every 3 months, I take half of what's in that profit account and put into my personal account to spend on whatever, to spend on whatever, right? That means I might buy something, but again, I don't waste my money. I don't buy frivolous things. Okay. I don't buy jewelry. I don't wear the bling bling, all that. I'm past that. And, really my age, that shit don't look good anyway. But anyway. But I buy assets. And when I say I buy assets to make my business more efficient, to make my business grow, or to make my home run more efficiently. Right. My first quarterly profit distribution, I went and bought me a big ass smoker.
There you go.
Right? That thing, that's my therapy. See, one of the things that we miss as business owners and entrepreneurs is we need an outlet.
Amen.
We need something to release that pressure and to chill us out. Yes, me sitting out there cooking for 4, 6, 8, 10 hours is therapeutic for me, because I get to focus on that, all the rest of the day-to-day, the business, all the headaches, and because I don't care what kind of business you're running, you're gonna get some headaches.
What?
We ain't trying to sit here and play this like this some utopia. Nah,
No,
not in the real world.
exactly.
Maybe on TV, on Netflix, on YouTube, on some of these YouTube channels, but not this one.
Exactly. You know? Facts.
So
Facts.
at some point, you got to find something, some way, some shape, form, or fashion to relax.
Yeah.
Or you will go crazy.
Ask me how I know. Y'all know I'm the no days off. Shoot, little do y'all know. I be look, next weekend. I made up in my mind that I am going every month. I am leaving for the weekend to an undisclosed destination. Y'all better hope I come back.
There you go.
Because you know the way this digital real estate game going, from anywhere. From anywhere. So, you know,
see, the other thing I try to do is at least quarterly, I try to find some way, being that I'm taking them distributions, I'll try to find some way to spend some of that money again, working on this.
Exactly.
I'll take that. I'll take a lot of times I'll take that money and I'll buy a course or a coaching program or, you know, whatever to help me continue to work on getting to that next level, because there's levels to this, but the levels keep going. And it just depends on how far you want to go. You know what I mean?
Let's hit on that mindset. That's key.
Mindset is key. That is the most, you know, that's probably the most important aspect of building, growing, and running a business. Okay, because you ain't got to be the most skilled technician. You see what I'm saying? But if you ain't got the right mindset, your business is going to die, because if you can't handle it mentally, it ain't gonna go nowhere. So the mindset piece is, I invest, again, most of the investments that I do in the continuing education that I do is in mindset. The vast majority of it is in mindset and elevating my mindset and seeking out, you know, specific individuals who are operating on those levels, right? And I recently, and you know, again, this ain't no brag. This is just what it is. I recently bought into a program, a coaching program on mindset that's 5 figures. If you watch some of the people that we tune into, you'll realize that that's a drop in the bucket.
Facts.
When you playing on certain levels, that's a drop in the bucket. I'm just stepping into that 5-figure realm on one program where I've dropped 5 figures. I just stepped into that realm. And see, I already know it's just going to keep going from there, because I know where I'm trying to get to.
Exactly.
Where I'm trying to get to, this is just the beginning.
Exactly. So what about, let's talk about it. I was talking to somebody about my whole thing. Everybody can't go. So as you elevate in business and life, and you, like with me, my time is so tight. And not just the time, it's just like I don't even have time to breathe in people's direction, because there's so much I have to do and stay on course just to realize my own potential. How do you, as a business owner, as someone that wants to give back, as someone that sees potential in people every day that they don't see in themselves, how do you stay focused on your development first and build your team and your circle? Because as you elevate, a lot of them people you might have sat down and, you know, broke bread with, you can't break bread with them no more. Talk about that.
Well, it's simple for me, because it's my mission to build my business to serve me at the highest level. Let me say that again. It is my mission to build my business to serve me at the highest level. What does that do? That allows me to serve my customers and my community at the highest level.
Facts.
Feel me? Because I'm in the mindset of building a business to fit my lifestyle, not the other way around.
There you go. You better say that again, because somebody head, because Yeah.
I built my business. I built and designed my business to fit my lifestyle. I don't fit my lifestyle around my business. I used to, for the vast majority of the time I've been in business. So that's what I did because I didn't know any better.
There you go. And
But
how
when
did
you know
you,
better,
how did that change? What was the turning point when you realized, okay,
oh, it just, it was one of them coaches that said something, that sparked something in the brain, was like, oh, that makes too much sense. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. One of them, and I couldn't even go back and tell you which particular one or at what particular time, but when I had that revelation, when I got that epiphany, it was like, that makes all the sense in the world. This is why I've been like pushing uphill, because I'm trying to fit my lifestyle around this business. This business is taking up all my energy, and it didn't seem to be going nowhere. And it seemed like no matter how hard I worked, I stayed stuck in a certain spot. But when that mindset changed, and I said, you know what, it's time for me to do this different. This ain't working the way it's going. It's time for me to do something different. So why don't I try what this man is or this woman is suggesting, and let's try to do this thing, switch it up a little bit to where I design the business around my lifestyle. Let's see how that works. And when I started to go in that direction, I started seeing things work a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, until it got to a point to where, boom, now
it's a wrap.
It's running smooth. But in order for me to get to the next level where I'm going, I still got a lot more learning to do. I still got a lot more work to do. But I'm game, because really, I got this energy inside, this anticipation of getting the outcome that I desire. So it's giving me the energy to keep pushing, to keep, like, if I run into a little bit of a wall or run into a snag, I got enough energy to step back and go, okay, I know there's another way to do this. There's a different approach I can take to get to this point or to get to that point. Because the day-to-day of business can drag you down real quick if you, like you said, if you ain't operate from the right mindset. I look at these things as opportunities to get better. That's one of the things that keeps me going. I look at all these issues that come up in the day-to-day as an opportunity to get better. How can I solve this problem? Now, see, because the entrepreneur is a problem solver. So if I'm gonna call myself an entrepreneur, I gotta wear that problem solving hat 24/7.
24/7.
Trying to suit up and boot up. So I gotta get out there and make it happen.
Yeah, but we definitely gonna have a part 2 to this, because and I just the reality is, I think it's important that we visit these type of conversations on a monthly basis, because the reality is that people need to hear from people that got it out the mud. They need to hear from people who are active business owners and that have other interests. They grow outside of their initial and traditional business. Because it's just like when you were talking about the 5 bank accounts. The reality is fintech is here. You can open 5 bank accounts from your laptop at home.
Phone.
There you go. So at the end of the day, you have to want to do it. You have to want to make those steps and make it happen. Period. End. So Terry, I really enjoyed our conversation. All right, everybody, this is not the end of it. This will be a monthly conversation that Terry and I will have. And, and hopefully we may expand, but, one-on-one, we have great conversations. And I want to make sure he has the room and the floor to pour into you guys like he wants to. Because the reality is, you guys see us on YouTube or see us in a snippet here or see us do that, and you're getting this small view. The key is you need a 360 of what it does. It means to become an entrepreneur, to go through the rough stuff, hang in there, and find some light at the end of the tunnel and expand and grow. Because the whole reason you have a business is not to create another job. It's actually to create a freedom lifestyle so that you can enjoy the other things that you like. It's that simple. Like, you want to, it's people I talk to, they're taking their daughters. A lot of my students, they, get a chance to take the kids to school, have that one-on-one, pick them up. I mean, there's little things like that that's important. And whatever's important to you, you should be able, this is America, have a business, be able to explore anything you want to and be successful at it. You got any last words for us, Terry?
Man, we definitely gonna have to do this on a regular basis because
it's plenty. I know you loaded.
I got some moves I'm getting ready to make where I'm about to pull some. Oh my goodness! Yeah. You know what? All I'm gonna say is stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Exactly. So we'll be same
this is
time,
ongoing.
Same place next month. And there's some things, I'm as far as I'm concerned, these are personal fireside chats.
That's what's up.
Where we do it. All right. So with that said, you guys, solid steppers, Titans, y'all know what time it is. Keep stepping.
Boss up.
Salute.